of the Browns. They've got a lot of people in that room. What do we know about their plans at quarterback?
They do have a lot of people, but Shedeur Sanders ended last season as the starter, and just sort of reading tea leaves and talking to people, I think the most likely scenario here is he begins the offseason and likely begins the season as the starter. I know the owner, Jimmy Haslam, had something to say about Deshaun Watson and having a great chance. Deshaun Watson's played a total of 19 games the last 5 years. Like, they don't have any idea what they're going to get from him. He's under contract for 1 more year. They basically have to have him on the roster at this point. So, could a light go on and he'd be fine? Possibly. But my sense of it is Shedeur Sanders the strongest candidate to open the season as Cleveland's starter right now.
Because the number is so jarring, and you said it out loud, can you say the number of the dead money if they were to cut?
If they were to cut Deshaun Watson, it'd be $131 million in dead money, which, I mean, the Miami Dolphins look at that and go, that's a lot. They just got 99 for Tua. But that's because they've restructured his contract so much over the years. They knew that was coming. I would expect him to be on the team. I don't know about starting.
Yeah, agree. There's a big difference between being on the team and playing. Again, he hasn't played a full season in 6 years. He didn't play until 2 years ago. And, Neek knows this. When you talk to players about Achilles tendon, that's a really serious injury. He did it twice. So we're in year 1 of a program with a new head coach. I don't know why we're going backwards with Deshaun Watson.
So, Dominique, it does, and it was, I think it was Jordan Rogers who said it yesterday, and I think he's right. Shedeur Sanders finds himself in a pretty good place to be a 5th-round pick going into your 2nd season with a legitimate, clear path towards having a legitimate opportunity to prove you can be the starter. That's all you can really ask for is an actual shot to prove you can play in the NFL. It looks like he's going to get it, right? For all the talk that has existed around Shedeur from the moment he started falling, looks like he's going to get his chance.
With an offensive-minded head coach who says that he believes in you and a good defense to support you. Like, this isn't the worst situation in the league for a quarterback like you mentioned. I think we all know his name and suspected that he would have been a 1st or 2nd-round pick last year. But given where he ended up, like, this is the best chance that you're going to get probably in his career at a chance at establishing himself as a starter. And it's a real opportunity where I suspect he's going to get the majority of the offseason reps and be the day 1 starter.
The thing to keep in mind, we joked earlier, but the 27 draft, a lot of teams have their eye on it, especially for quarterback. So they have to find out in Cleveland what they have. They know Deshaun Watson's not the long-term answer. They probably know Dylan Gabriel's not. So I do know that head coach candidates, when they interviewed with the Browns, were being asked, what would you think if we went with Shedeur Sanders as the starter? So I think that's where it's pointing.
So that's a win-win. You give him a chance.
Yeah, you find out.
If he plays great,
sure.
Huge win. You've got, picks to use in the next draft, and you can use them however you want. If it doesn't pan out, then you jump right back into the pond. I think it's a sort of a win-win situation, and Shedeur gets his shot. As we continue. Last couple of days, I saw these quotes from Jimmy Haslam, the owner of the Cleveland Browns, in which he was saying, if I could just sort of paraphrase, Deshaun Watson has an excellent chance to be the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns this year. Deshaun Watson obviously has not played in a very long time for a variety of reasons, up to and including significant injury history here. So, Shefty, what should we be thinking now about Deshaun Watson, Shedeur Sanders, Dylan Gabriel, 2 first-round picks, and the Cleveland Browns?
Listen, a year ago, Jimmy Haslam was at the owners' meeting saying it was a swing and a miss on Deshaun Watson. Well, guess what? Deshaun Watson is now back in the batter's box, and he's got a real chance to reach base here and win the starting quarterback job for the Cleveland Browns. Because here's a quarterback who tore his Achilles in the 7th game or the 7th week of the 2024 season in October, retore the Achilles, and is now trying to overcome those physical challenges to recapture the Browns starting quarterback job. And there's a real possibility he's going to do it. If the owner is saying that he's got a great chance to start, we'll take him at his word. So right now we've got Deshaun Watson, Shedeur Sanders, and Dylan Gabriel vying for the Browns starting quarterback job. We do not expect the Browns will draft a quarterback here that has a realistic chance to win the starting quarterback job, though you never know how a rookie quarterback fares. And right now, Watson's got as good a chance as anybody to win that job.
So, Jordan, when we were talking this morning, why is it you think Shedeur Sanders finds himself in a very good spot right now?
Yeah, one term you hear when you're in NFL locker rooms and meeting rooms, the best ability you can have is availability. And that's what Deshaun Watson hasn't been able to provide. The injuries are what they are. Back-to-back season injuring your Achilles twice. Dylan Gabriel as well had the concussion, had a shoulder injury. He hasn't been available, and all Shedeur has done is put his head down, be there when the team needs him. He's had some ups, he's had some downs. I think he's in a perfect position, and he's handling it the right way. He's in the facility. He's around the facility. He wants to have this job be his, and he's going to be an opportunity where he's going to have the best opportunity, I think, to take that job. I think the Deshaun thing, what are we hanging on to with Deshaun? Even before the injury, I think with the fully guaranteed contract that he got, it was kind of, well, he had a window of time with the Texans where he looked like a top 10 quarterback, but it wasn't his entire time there. And now after the catastrophic injuries that he's had, I think we saw the Browns turn the page, and now they're flipping it backwards. I think they need to turn the page to one of these young guys, and right now, to me, that's Shedeur.
Tim, final word.
Yeah, it's been too long for Deshaun. That's what I would say on that. Shedeur found himself in an amazing situation. Sub 500 record, did not, produce at a high level. Late round draft pick to be sitting, just before the draft with the quarterback stable that they have and a chance to be the opening day starter does not happen often. And so it's a remarkable position.
Was there about A.J. Brown around the various swimming pools that you guys are hanging out in Phoenix?
A lot. The sense everyone seems to have is that after June 1st, when the cap hit would be less, the Eagles would consider trading him, and the Patriots are seemingly the team that everyone wants to connect him to. So Mike Vrabel was talking somewhat openly about it. Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni kept repeating the same thing, which is A.J. Brown is a member of the Eagles, like as if they were programmed to do it. Mm-hmm. So, but the cap hit drops significantly for Philadelphia if they wait till after June 1st. So unless somebody comes before the draft and blows them out of the water with an offer, I think this picks up again in the summer, and New England's the spot to watch.
Dominique, help me with both sides of that. Let's start with the Eagles. If the Eagles trade away A.J. Brown, and we may get some clues here depending on what they do in the draft,
sure,
take some receivers, et cetera, et cetera. But what would that mean to you? What would that mean for the Eagles, who are a Super Bowl aspiring team, if they trade away A.J. Brown?
Yeah, I think the automatic response is that they got a little bit worse, but I imagine that with the new offensive coordinator, they'll try to construct the offense around Devontae Smith as being their number one. They added Hollywood Brown in the offseason, who's another dynamic athlete that they could make plays with, and of course, they still have Saquon Barkley, but I think it does lessen the power of their offense, but sometimes if the offense can evolve some, it can still be just as or more effective, because fundamentally, the best part of this Eagles offense when it was at its best was the O-line. So that's the most important part. Getting that right, I think, allows everything else to fall into place.
If you're Howie Roseman, are you trading A.J. Brown?
Nope. I'm calling in A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts, Nick Sirianni, and Sean Mann. We have a little family business screening.
Okay.
And we're going to sit there and say, hey, we're going to either succeed together or we could all be gone. So A.J. Brown's too talented. At 29 years old, he is a frontline difference maker and a cautionary tale. Braz mentioned Mike Vrabel. When they traded him in Tennessee, they're still trying to replace him. They tried it with Treylon Burks. So we're in the business of collecting good players, and let's try to make it work. You have a new offensive coordinator. Let's reset it.
You mentioned, by the way, the Vrabel of it all. Ironically, but not coincidentally, he would be on the other side of this, proposed thing if it happens. What would that mean in New England, Dominique? If all of a sudden you add A.J. Brown to this Patriot team that was in the Super Bowl last year, what does that mean?
It's all the things that Mike T just said, just for the other team. He is a top-line playmaker. I think he also mentioned that he's 29, which is close to 30, which is the age where people tend not to love paying their high-profile ex-receivers anymore. But I think he still has something in the tank. When he gets opportunities and deep routes and contested catches, there are very few players in the league as dynamic and effective as A.J. Brown. So I think this team gets better offensively if they can add him to the lineup.
Yeah, the key thing to pay attention to is the price. The Eagles are not of a mind of wanting to give away A.J. Brown. So if there is a sense that they know what they could get in a trade from the Patriots or anybody else, then maybe that's where the sort of calm around this situation is set in.
Greeny, here's the sense of urgency for New England. Drake May is going to year 3 on a rookie deal. In another year, that number could skyrocket. Their window to win is right now. They signed Romeo Doubs.
Yeah.
They moved on from Stephon Diggs. If you could get A.J. Brown with that nucleus of Ramondre Stevenson, Hunter Henry, they can be right back in the Super Bowl. So if a team's going to pay a premium, New England's the ideal spot.
Okay, yeah, they were ahead of schedule, so go for it right now while the going is good. I like that one. That's good. We'll get back to their quarterback part of it a little later. I want to get to the Cleveland quarterback situation, though, with you here.